Next, we will talk about passports. Let's look at an example of a passport biodata page. It is important to know the expiration on your passport and to make sure that your passport does not expire while you are here in the U.S. Your passport must remain valid for your entire time in the U.S. Whenever you enter the U.S., your passport must be valid at least 6 months beyond your expected period of stay in the U.S. unless exempted by a country-specific agreement. Please review the country-specific agreement link for the list of countries with agreements. If your country is on this list, whenever you enter the United States, your passport must only be valid to the end date of your expected period of stay. If your passport is set to expire while you are here, you can usually renew your passport at your country's embassy or consulate in the U.S. Inside your passport, you can also find your J-1 visa stamp unless you are a Canadian citizen or entered the U.S. in another immigration status. The visa is an entry document that permits an individual to request permission to enter the U.S. in a particular immigration status for a specific purpose. On the visa stamp, you will also see how many entries you can use the same visa to enter the U.S. This particular visa has an M, which means multiple. There may be an S for single, or even a number to represent the exact number of times that you can use the visa stamp to enter the U.S. The number of entries depends on your country of citizenship. Your visa also has an expiration date. Since your visa is an entry document, you can remain inside the U.S. with an expired visa if your Form DS-2019 is valid. The U.S. government will not issue you a visa stamp while you are in the U.S. If you do not have a valid J-1 visa stamp and you travel outside of the U.S., you will need to apply for a J-1 visa stamp from a U.S. embassy or consulate abroad to return to the U.S. Please allow for additional time to renew your visa. Please see the automatic visa revalidation exception if you will be traveling to Canada, Mexico, or adjacent islands for less than 30 days. There are very specific rules that apply to automatic visa revalidation, so please contact an ISSS advisor for more information. The bottom of your visa will indicate if you are subject to the 2-year or 212E home residency requirement. Your visa should indicate the words subject or not subject. Please compare your visa with the Form DS-2019 that you used to enter the U.S. to make sure that they match. For example, if not subject was selected on your Form DS-2019, confirm that not subject appears on your visa. If they do not match, ISSS can explain to you how you can seek clarification from the U.S. Department of State regarding whether the 2-year home residency rule applies to you or not. While you are given an expiration date on your visa, it can be revoked or taken away while you are in the U.S. The U.S. Department of State may revoke a non-immigrant visa at any time, but they usually do not do so unless you are arrested or convicted of a crime. If the U.S. Department of State revokes your visa, they will notify you if they have your current contact information. If your visa is revoked, you can remain in the U.S. and will not be required to leave. However, you will need to apply for and obtain a new visa stamp to re-enter the United States if you travel internationally. Upon your arrival to the United States, the U.S. government creates an I-94 arrival record, which is proof of your legal immigration status. Here is an example of a person's most recent I-94 arrival record. Your I-94 record also shows your U.S. arrivals and departures. You must submit your most recent I-94 with your check-in documents. If you have not yet accessed your most recent I-94, you may do so by going to the following website and clicking on the option Get Most Recent I-94. You can find that link below. You will enter information from your passport and select Next to see your most recent I-94. We are going to look at a few features on the I-94 that you must review after each entry into the U.S. You must ensure that your information is recorded correctly each time you enter the U.S. The I-94 record has an admission record number on it at the top. This is the official number attached to your entry. Below the admission record number, the Admit Until section notes the date you must leave the U.S. For exchange visitors, your date is noted in letters D/S. D/S means duration of status. This means you can stay in the United States in J status until the end of your 30-day grace period following the successful completion of your exchange visitor program. Under the Admit Until section is your class of admission. Your class of admission should be J-1. Your spouse or children, if they entered the U.S. with a J-2 visa, should be J-2. If you notice an error or cannot access your I-94, please notify ISSS immediately. You will need your most recent I-94 to apply for a Social Security number if you need one, and to complete the I-9 employment verification process if you are being paid by CU Boulder. Here at CU Boulder, we sponsor participants in 4 categories under the Bridge USA program. It is important to know which category you fall into, as this will ensure that you focus on the information pertinent to your program. While there are 15 total categories in the Bridge USA program, CU Boulder hosts 4 of these categories: Research Scholar or Professor, Short-Term Scholar, Specialist, and Student Intern. The J-1 Scholar categories have different program durations, acceptable activities, and special requirements. It is difficult to change categories once you have started your J-1 program. It is important to understand the purpose and limitations of your J-1 category, so let's review those together. The first 2 categories we will talk about will be Research Scholar and Professor. In this presentation, we will group these together based on their similarities. The first similarity is that the maximum program duration for both categories is 5 years. For example, if you are here in the Research Scholar or Professor category and your Form DS 2019 is valid for 1 year, it is possible to extend that program to 5 years, but no more than that. Later in the presentation, we will explain the process for requesting an extension of your Bridge USA program. Additionally, these categories are similar because both allow for a combination of teaching, lecturing, observing, consulting, and conducting research. An exchange visitor that is dedicating more than half of their time to research is under the Research Scholar category, while an exchange visitor dedicating more than half their time to teaching is under the Professor category. The next category is called Short-Term Scholar. This category has a maximum duration of only 6 months. Short-term scholars also have similar activities to research scholars and professors: lecturing, observing, consulting, training, conducting research, and demonstrating special skills, but on a short-term visit that cannot exceed 6 months. The specialist category has a maximum program duration of 1 year. Specialists observe, consult, and demonstrate special skills and knowledge. They are considered experts in their field, and they are coming to the United States to share their expertise with the university community. And the last category that CU Boulder uses is the student intern category, which also has a maximum program duration of 1 year. Student interns are students in their home country pursuing a degree at home, and they are coming to the United States to engage in an internship prior to the completion of their degree program. The internship training plan is outlined on the form DS7002. Student interns are not enrolled in classes. They are at CU Boulder to engage in an internship that will fulfill the educational objectives for the current degree program at the home institution.